Welcome to Triple H, Hamilton Happy Hour, where we talk about pianos, talk about music, and everything else in between. Hey everybody, this is Tobias, Hamilton Happy Hour, and I am with my cousin Mike Bolin. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going?
I am very, very excited on this podcast because we have Dame Marina Arsenijevic, world-renowned pianist and composer, and I'm just really excited that you're here, really, seriously.
Welcome.
Well, I'm very, very happy to be here, even though it took forever to get here.
Yeah. I know West Palm Beach traffic is horrible.
It became like New York City.
Yeah, we did. After COVID, that's what happened. You know, it became
Yeah.
like New York City. It just, a lot of people came here and
You sure will become a financial capital or something.
Yeah, exactly. So how we met was Glacier Hall was having you as for a concert for St. Jude, and they had a 9-foot concert grand that we had here because it was going to them, and it was still crated. And so we uncrated it for you so that you could see the piano and try it out before the concert. And you said you'd never played a piano that just came out of a crate before. So that was
out of a factory.
Right.
Into a crate.
Yeah.
And then you told me it was sitting 2 months.
Yes.
And at the time, my concert was maybe, 4 weeks from that point or something, a month.
Oh, no. It was like that.
2 weeks or a week.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
maybe, something like that.
Yeah, less than that, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was very, very nervous. And you were so fantastic. And you said, don't worry, we'll unpack it for you here so you can come back, whatever, before we deliver. And I came back, it was weekend, and you unpacked it. And then you record me play on the piano that was not tuned. It just came out of crate. It was very hard on a touch because it was not regulated. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I was very thankful. And then you gave me a tour of your amazing place. And I was just fascinated that you're a third or fourth generation of piano technicians, and that you're grandfather or great-grandfather?
It was my grandfather who taught my father and my uncle, and my father and my uncle taught me pretty much tuning, some regulating, rebuilding, restringing to a point. And then the more I got into tuning, the more I wanted to get into piano rebuilding. So, and my uncle and my father would have to send the piano out to have certain jobs done, a soundboard done, refinishing work, plating, things like that. And when I got into rebuilding, I didn't want to do that. I wanted my customers' pianos to come here and stay here and do everything in-house. So I had to learn from other technicians how to do certain things. I also wanted to be a big boy shop. I was like, oh, if we do this, we're becoming a
you're
bigger
certainly like a piano company. It's impressive.
Thank you. And so that's how we kind of, got to where we are. And my son is involved. My daughter is when she's not in school. My niece is here, so that's the fourth generation.
It's fascinating. And I was so impressed because, pianos is not something that is such a mainstream instrument. And it is in China, actually.
Oh, really? Over there? Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of people over there,
No, it is. They said that every other house has an upright piano.
Oh, wow.
So it's like United States sports. They teach them piano. But, I came from the world of it. It was former Yugoslavia. So it was a communist country at the time when I started playing. Okay. And I had the privilege being taught by famous Russian professors who, in order for them to leave Soviet Union, they had to go through Yugoslavia to go to the West. And so they came to Yugoslavia when I was very, very young. And one of them, his name was Konstantin Bogino. He came from Tchaikovsky University. And he picked only 2 little students, and one of them was me.
Oh, nice.
And I was 8 years old. And at the age of 9, he told my parents she's so talented that she should go to Tchaikovsky University, enter, because that's like conservatory that you enter when you're very young and you exit when you're 20. And my father, who was he was economist, he was famous soccer player playing for national team, and my mother was attorney, and Yugoslavia was much freer than anything on the east. We were Central Europe, and we were non-aligned countries, so we were not part of a Warsaw Pact or anything like that. And so our passport was very valuable. In other words, we could travel everywhere, even though we were a communist country.
Mm-hmm.
And my father really didn't wanted me to go to that very strict Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
And especially not to enter when I'm 9, exit when I'm 20 with no light. And, so he said, no. He says, you're here. You're now in Yugoslavia, so why you don't teach her? But he said, we have program for very talented kids there, blah, 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 blah. And my father asked him, so why did you left? Why did you left now? You left to teach here to be able to go to the West. Yeah, but I was raised in different environment, and no, this will be good enough. And I think that they made the right choice, because I did have then, at the time growing up, the advantage of both worlds, being taught by really very famous pianists and being more free to travel and everything else. So what happened was, I met him when I was 9. When I was 17 or so, I got engagement. At the time, there was a government music agencies called Yugo Concert. And Yugo Concert would engage the best artists around the world and represent them. So I was just entering that professional world, and they booked me to play with St. Petersburg soloists with their first tour abroad. So that's a philharmonic, but they as a philharmonic couldn't travel at the time. So they assembled 15-piece strings, and they could play only Mozart or Haydn or Bach or something. So I played 2 Mozart concertos with them, and that was my first recording.
Oh, wow.
And my father said, see, she still play with them, and she didn't have to go there. And he was so adamant to tell that professor, like, see, she, and at the time I realized the kind of a freedom of expression I had at the time versus those Russian musicians. They were very, very not only plain looking, but very focused, like a horses with the
the blinders.
Blinders.
Yeah.
No expression in interpretation. No, nothing.
Wow.
It's and Russians are very emotional because we are both Slavic, so it's a different school than like Chinese. They're very good technicians, but sometimes emotions are not there. Mm-hmm. So Russians had emotions, but they were subdued in that schooling. And so I was really much more free in expression and interpretation. And also, I was like 17 years old, and I put the makeup on. I had a nice dress, and they were all in white shirts and black skirts, slacks. Very no makeup, no nothing. And they look at me, what the hell she's doing? Like, putting makeup on, like
what I want.
Yeah, she probably didn't practice enough or something. Yeah, if you put the makeup, you're not that. So that's where I came from that very strict school, very strict, very disciplined, because it was still communism. Yugoslavia was a communist country, but we were much more free than Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah.
But still, it's very disciplined, very, very work-oriented. And plus, the school was free. So you have to be the best in the class to enter the next level.
Oh, wow.
Because there's very small places.
Mm-hmm.
Yugoslavia was at the time 23 million people. And they accepted only 23 students at the music academy. from the whole country.
Wow.
So the you have to understand that the auditions and stuff were very, very tough.
Mm-hmm.
And but because I was really interested in every subject, so I went to two schools: regular school and a music school. Music school was also many different subjects, not only piano. We had everything. Like it was real music school. So the kids at the age of like high school, they would just go to that music school. But I was such a good student in regular subjects that my professors told my parents that it's really a pity if I don't go to regular gymnasium or high school because I'm so talented. So I did went to two schools, which was tough. You go at 6 a.m., go home at 10, and you have to practice piano and stuff. But that, I think that all-round education gave me also advantage of other instrumentalists because they were just trained to play. And at the time when we entered university, I was young. I was much younger. I entered when I was 16 and a half. I finished high school earlier because my music school I finished earlier. So I entered university when I was about 16 and a half, 17. And but that gave me advantage because music university had subjects. It wasn't just piano and music subjects. It was philosophy, psychology, whatever, because that students has to have all that. And we even had defense, military.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
that subject called defense. And mathematics too, languages and all these things. So, other people didn't really care about other subjects. They only cared to be the best in instrument. And I wanted to have all the best grades. So I ended up, in university, we had from 5 to 10, and I ended up having 10.0.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, but that's because I had all that previous, and I think that helped me when I entered professional career young, it's about 17, to understand better performing and to understand the environment better.
So you've been very, very busy at a very young age.
Oh yeah, I never had the free time. I could say I rarely play with kids. I mean, I did, but very, very seldomly because it was too many. I had to study a lot, but it wasn't because my parents were so ambitious. Not at all. They actually didn't know what to do with me because they said, what the hell to do with her? So it was more because I really wanted to have all that. And so that's how they said, okay, well, she's never home, fine.
and you're getting to do what you love.
Oh, yeah. I really love that. And you know what? I could have entered any university because I had all the best grades in anything. And professors in other subjects says, why the hell she goes to music academy? Like, what the hell she's going to do? She was good in math. I was good in languages, in literature, and many things. And she can go to law or something where she can make really good money. And why but I think because music was the most challenging. The most you have to really, you're never good enough.
Yeah.
And it's the most challenging. And I just love to practice, to perfect that. And so that's how I ended up on stage much, much younger than other students, on the detriment of my professors, because they thought I was not ready for professional stage. But the promoters thought I am. And professor was so mad because I entered postgraduate studies. I have a master's degree. And they said, she's not ready for stage, for professional stage.
And you proved them wrong.
Yeah. And I had my first concert when I was 9. but not professionally. Like, I won a national competition and they gave you a concert. But professionally, I started at about 17, and I said we had the Yugo concert. That was a professional agency that was booking you, and they thought I had audience, and I think I was the first one in the 90s who had really bigger audience as a classical pianist.
Oh, wow.
Because I was more, I guess, I look different. I was, I dress up differently.
You put makeup on.
I put makeup. I was not like blah. And I was good at media too. So then I end up on million cover as on major magazines and stuff that only for pop stars. So this was a totally different approach.
Yeah.
That was about the time when three tenors had their break into pops. But, I was in Central Europe, so I was not known in Western Europe. It was Central Europe, so it was about 11 countries. And then I studied in Italy about that time, which was Western Europe. And I had a very good professor, a pianist called Tamas Vašari, and he was at King Royal College in London. And so he took several of us in Italy to give us master classes. And so that was how I entered Western Europe, but I didn't have bookings yet in Western Europe at the time. And then we had war.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the war started, and I was very, very famous already in those 11 countries or whatever. And then it was tough because the economy went down. The bombs were falling all over the place. And the place where actually had the big war was Bosnia, if you remember, guys, in the 90s. And but I was Serbian. I was Christian, Orthodox Christian, but at the time we didn't know what we are because we were raised in communism.
Yeah.
So, but my grandparents baptized me, so the religion was part of my family, but not really me because we didn't go to church. We had the communist church. Yeah. So at the time it was very tough for us because we didn't understand why the war started. All of a sudden, neighbors started killing each other because of the differences in ethnicity and religion that we didn't really grow up with.
Yeah.
But those extremists, started to push those movements. And then you had extremists in all sides. You had extremists on Muslim side, extremists on Croatian side, where they were Catholics, and extremists on Serbian side. So that whole country that had 6 republics and 2 autonomous regions, all of a sudden started to break apart. The first state that left at the beginning of 1990s, at 91, was Slovenia. Our first lady now is from Slovenia, Melania Trump.
Yep.
So we were born in the same country,
wow.
Yugoslavia, yeah, but she was Slovenian. And Slovenia had, they were the most westernized state. They were border with Austria and Italy, and they left first. And then the war started between Croats, Serbs, and Bosnians in Bosnia. Very bloody war. Yeah, it was the worst war before this war in Ukraine. And it lasted 4 years. So Serbia at the time was not directly into war, but we are next to them. And so we were affected by inflation, by all sorts of stuff, economics downfall. And the army went to Bosnia to fight.
Wow.
For Serbs. So it was very, very, very tough. And that was a time when I was becoming very, very famous in all those republics. So tough thing was that as a Serbian, I couldn't go to many places. And especially because at the time I realized that we lived together and I wanted us to stay together and to promote the unity through music. But many antagonist sides didn't want that. So I really risked a lot.
Wow.
I was very young and I risked a lot. And that time I started to compose. So that was the time, even though I didn't finish composition. But, throughout the music education, especially in our schools that were very tough, I had everything. I had musicology, I had composition, I had, I don't know how you call solfeggio, but whatever is that. It's
I don't know either.
yeah. So you have all those subjects that essentially composition is comprised of. So I started to compose and to mix different melodies and rhythms from my childhood to show our common humanity. And that was the style that they called ethno-classical style. It wasn't that I developed hot water, but every one of the composers from the Romantic period, like Tchaikovsky, Chopin, Franz Liszt, they all created their compositions at the time when they fought for their ethnic identity, especially Chopin, who, because of a war and oppression, had to leave his country, as I eventually did, and went to France. And most of his opus is created in France. Franz Liszt, at the other hand, he was in Austro-Hungarian Empire. He was creating lots of influences by Hungarian folk music. Tchaikovsky also. So you have Bela Bartok also in Hungary. So because I had that education, I just continued, but I used melodies from the Balkans, from my childhood. And so I combine what you can say Christian and Muslim melodies and rhythms in classical form. And they call that ethno-classical. So I was supposed to have a big concert. It was, I remember, March, 1999, at the very large hall. At the time, it was 5,000 people, which for classical solo piano is big here even. Yeah. And so it was very well publicized. They had billboards and everything. And on March, forgot what date, the bombing starts.
Oh, wow.
NATO bombing. And I had my last rehearsal at the National Theater with the orchestra that evening. And the conductor said, don't go to outside Belgrade to where your parents live because, no, they told me to go to my parents because Belgrade will be first to be bombed.
But that scared you.
No. And then there is no gasoline. And they said, on the way to your parents, stop at the gas station to get extra gas because we will lose gas. I mean, how you call it? Oh, yeah. Gasoline. And so I stopped. We had all the canisters in our cars because we didn't have enough gasoline.
It's like what happens when we have a hurricane. We're all getting gas because we know the gas stations are going to be closed.
Yeah, but we had canisters. So they filled my canisters and everything. So I arrived to my parents' place, and how I went upstairs, they were in a building. I came, my parents, nothing. They don't think anything is happening because they watched the first, like here, ABC One or something. But the difference is that this was controlled by the government, that station. So that station said, oh, it's a prosperity in a country. They talk about some nonsense. And my father haven't seen the Sky News or CNN that were reporting that NATO planes, bombers, started to fly from Italy, Aviano. It was Aviano base. And they were about to approach Belgrade. He says, what are you talking about? Who is telling that to you? Well, I said, I just listened radio you know, and they said they started, bombarders started. And he didn't believe. So we were in our apartment, and the first bomb fell literally next to my parents' building.
Oh, wow.
And we just see this red flame. And that was, we didn't know that Milosevic, who was at the time president of at the time, whatever was Serbia and Montenegro or Yugoslavia, still probably Yugoslavia, he had his military bombarder planes buried underground next to my parents' building that nobody knew.
Oh.
But NATO knew. So the first thing they wanted to hit was his bunkers. And so we didn't have any, how you call it, we didn't know where to go, so we went to the basement of the building. The whole building went downstairs. And it was 1999. At the time, no cell phones. We only had pagers.
I remember that.
Yeah, pagers. So we went in the basement, and the whole building ended up in the basement. So we had some little radio, and everybody listened to radio. And now you're listening government news. They said, oh, it's nothing, it will stop, blah, blah, blah. But they don't stop bombing. You hear bombs falling all over around you.
Oh.
And so about, I don't know, 5 hours later or so, I'm getting a message on my pager from national TV stations because they wanted to get all the famous people, to galvanize them to come to the TV to calm the nation. And I get the message, can you come morning, like Good Morning America? Can you come? And I said, well, I'm in a basement. And I'm with
there's no piano down here.
Yeah. And I'm with my parents, and they're in outside Belgrade, so there is a bridge to cross the Danube River to get to Belgrade. But those bridges were also affected by bombing. So my father did risk, and he says, okay, I'll drive you in the morning. And he drove me, and I end up in TV. And bombing was 3.5 months.
Wow.
Nonstop.
And you weren't scared?
Well, of course, I don't know. You know, at that point, the problem was you had obviously opposition to the Milosevic. But at that point, everybody become together because you have invisible enemy from the skies, even though, you know, I was very pro-Western oriented and stuff. It was during the Clinton administration. And we were all, you know, kind of, we like Clinton and he's playing saxophone and stuff. But that time it was tough because you're attacked by invisible people from the sky. So it lasted longer than people thought that would be. And so during the bombing, I played because they enlisted you to play to calm the people. So I played in crazy places, like in squares and in some shopping malls.
Well, and that probably put people at ease.
Yeah,
That's
it
why
did.
they wanted that.
It did.
Just,
yeah,
you know,
it did.
In a time
It did.
of turmoil.
And also, you know, they wanted to show that, you know, we have these talents and you want to kill them.
Yeah.
So there is a double, you know, but I really realized that they are really, how can I say, putting our people, our government, in really horrible situation. Instead of negotiating to get some type of a deal or peace, they let this happen. So,
government.
yeah, so that was very tough. And the first day after bombing stopped, which I didn't know that would be the first day, I was invited by United States, different organizations here and Canada to come to perform. And
was that your first time coming
first
to the
time.
States? Okay.
Actually, no. First time was 96 when I visited my friends that were refugees from Bosnia. And I performed that for families who helped them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and at that time it was in Pennsylvania, in a town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and they had a big concert, and I ended up on a cover of their daily, whatever it was, the magazine, and so it was very touchy because then I understood what Americans are, general people, how much they help, and it was a church, it was a Catholic church to help mixed marriage families, and I came to visit my friends. So the second time was that time when I came, and it was very tough because I was the only child. My parents don't have anybody, and I was young. I decided to leave, and I was very famous. They thought, "What the hell she's going to do there?" You know, America is a scary big place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Florida, they got gators and swamplands.
Everybody, she will be eaten alive.
Has there been any concert, that you've played at where something happened, like during the performance? We've talked to other artists, because every piano is different, every pianist is different, and but has there been anything or any really cool venues that you've been to play at that you'd like to share?
Well, yeah. Well, after I came here, a year after, I was invited to Carnegie Hall.
Oh, nice.
And then I had the second Carnegie Hall, and then after that, I was approached to do a PBS special. And of all the places I did with West Point Band and the Glee Club called Marina at West Point, Unity Through Diversity. That was in 2008. And that was really, it was amazing for me because I didn't know that West Point Band is such a great, they're a fantastic band. With you say band, but for me it's orchestra, like
Right.
like a brass woodwind orchestra. And what I didn't know also that they all come from very excellent schools. They're all from Juilliard, Curtis University, and they just decides to be at West Point. And the Glee Club was really very, very good. And Glee Club is comprised with all cadets. So I worked with them 9 months. And that was one of the really amazing experiences for me because I learned a lot about the United States through that. And then also we had at the time 100 people crew that came. And the director was the same who did Yanni concert in Acropolis and Taj Mahal. And so today you don't need so many microphones, but we had Ed Green, who was audio engineer, who got about every award you can now think of, from Emmys to Grammys to Oscars, everything, because he did all the live shows and others. So he had a different track with 100 microphones to mic properly, because as you can imagine, piano cannot out volume the band,
Right.
and
vice versa.
and the choir cannot, and I'm the lead voice. So it's 120 people on stage, and they built a separate external stage extra for piano. So it was really spectacular.
Wow.
And we had 2.5 hours of concert, but it was live filming. And it was probably, for me, I didn't understood at the time how big that was. But, until today, I don't think nobody had, it was about 170 million viewers.
Oh, wow.
In a scope of 10 years. And in PBS, if you don't really do well, they take off the program. But in this case, it did very well. And PBS has 354 stations throughout the country. So most of them played.
Nice.
And some of them didn't want to play at the beginning because they thought it's either too patriotic or that, but it was not, because I played my own music too.
Oh, wow.
I started from Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue to Franz Liszt Hungarian Rhapsody, differently arranged for band and piano, to Freddie Mercury's Bohemian Rhapsody, to all my music ending with America the Beautiful. So it was really diverse. And I remember at one of those showcases they have, PBS, the American Public Television is distributor for shows for public televisions, and they were distributing my show. So they had those so-called showcases. And at one of those, I remember San Francisco station. She says, "Oh, we never played this because we thought it's boring, but it's actually great." And they end up being the station that played the most.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it was nominated for Emmy.
Cool.
Nice.
So that was probably the most. And Steinway obviously delivered the piano, and so that was that's how I learned a lot about America, because in a period of 10 years you learn a lot.
So where do you call home? Where you live?
I live in 3 different places. I live in one of the studios or houses that is larger is in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
Okay.
I live in New York City, and we have place here in Palm Beach.
You have pianos in all of those places?
Yeah, well, maybe in New York I need better one. I mean, I have here a Yamaha, but the problem here is it's a building, apartment building. So, I probably need to do more acoustic to be able to perform, to play, because people are like, "Oh my God, is she still playing?"
So do you play like at 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah,
sometimes?
it's like, oh my God, it was like crazy. Oh my God,
Can you stop already?
yeah, like stop it anymore. So I have
I need to go to bed.
yeah. So I practice the most on Bösendorfer.
Okay.
Bösendorfer. It's not 9. It's 7/8.
Okay. Is it imperial?
Imperial.
Yep.
Yes, imperial. And Bösendorfer has extra octave in the back, in the bass. And I love Bösendorfer because it's very, very bright. Steinways between European and American there's quite a difference.
Yep.
When I grew up, I practiced on European Steinways, and they were brighter than American. Americans are more leveled. And so Bösendorfer gives you more of a really rich body and clarity, and they're deeper in how you call it, in action, in action. And I did lots of recordings on Bösendorfer, so most of my stuff on Spotify, Apple, and stuff is on Bösendorfer. But in Europe, I recorded on Steinway.
Yeah, it's, between every manufacturer, I mean, even if you took the same manufacturer and made a piano side by side, they're going to be 2 different instruments.
Yes.
It's like 2 different piano tuners, 2 different pianists. And every manufacturer's got their thing, Mason and Hamlin, Bösendorfer, Bluthner, Steinway, and trying to, especially with someone with your caliber and how well you play, trying to find that piano's tough.
It's very tough. But interestingly enough, at Steinway Gallery in New York City, when I practiced, they gave me to practice on Horowitz piano.
Oh, nice.
That was so light in touch. I don't know if that's because he did that towards the end of his life, but it was so light, as well as Liberace. I tried his at Baldwin. Oh my God, that was like...
Baldwins are typically on the lighter side, but with Horowitz, Franz Moore was his technician.
Yes.
And Horowitz wanted it like that.
Maybe, obviously he's a man, he had a very big hand. And probably it was easier for him, and plus he played like this. I play more this way. I need the sound to go up rather than down. And Russian school is this way. This way. But it's fine for guys who have these huge hands, but then you end up with the tennis elbow issues, which I had.
Oh, wow.
So I had to change.
When I took piano lessons, my piano teacher said, she would use the sharps, and she'd go, keep your cars in their garages. That's what she would tell me,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's everybody's got their own way and their
you
own
have to find
taste.
your own I think you have to find your own position
Mm-hmm.
because we all have different hands. And even though I had so many different schools, I had to find my own position because I have been hurt. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I had competitions that I competed with horrible pain.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if the audience really can understand that what a pianist is doing when they are on stage. You're an athlete.
Yes.
It's easy for someone to be watching TV and see someone kick the soccer ball, catch the football, throw the basketball. But when someone is actually, it's very, very physical.
Yes.
And it's not just in the fingers.
No, whole
it's throughout
body.
the whole body.
Yes.
Correct. Because you have to do what you have to do to get the piano to do what you want it to do.
Yes.
And that's something that I think the audience really
They don't understand.
They don't understand.
They don't understand, and we're really athletes.
Yeah.
Like my best friends are athletes. They're very famous athletes, but they're athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And they all came from my part of the world, like basketball players or tennis players.
And it's a different form of an athlete, but it's
Yes.
still an athlete. It's like I've said it before on a podcast. You are the NASCAR driver. You got your concert is winning the race, and for technicians, we're the pit crew. And it's our job to make sure that the piano plays and does everything it needs to do for the performance. Because if not, there could be an issue.
Oh, of course. Well, by the way, thank you for tuning piano before
you're
the
welcome.
concert.
It was okay,
great.
right?
It was great.
Okay, good.
It was great. And sending a technician from Steinway was crucial because he worked the whole day, and I was so happy I met him. He was a Russian
Alex. Yep.
Russian Jewish guy who escaped I left later, but he escaped at the beginning of 90s because they had the option as Jews from Soviet Union to leave to Israel or United States. He picked to come to United States. So we had long discussion. And he really was fantastic.
He's a great guy.
He's fantastic.
I met him, I want to say at least 10 years ago, and he was giving a class at Steinway down in Coral Gables. And that's where I met him. And then we started, he came to one of my concert halls that I take care of, Society of the Arts in Palm Beach.
Oh,
and
okay.
they wanted him to do some work. And so I said, can I watch? I want to, so I worked with him. I didn't work with him. I watched him for 3 days. I think it was about 3 days going through what he was doing to the action. And the knowledge that he has is incredible because he's not just Steinway in New York. He's also Hamburg Steinway. He's been able to go to Hamburg Steinway a couple times and learn from them. And that's very rare. And that's what he had told me. So, and we just hit it off, as when we first met. I just talked to him the other day because the 9-footer, when I went to tune it, what was happening, there was a whooshing sound coming from it. I don't think you may have heard it, but I heard it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. But we had to mic because, you see, we can talk about that, but my performance now is very, very different than probably anything you heard. I have a pre-recorded orchestra tracks.
Okay.
And plus movies. So I'm live. Everything comes from all over the place. So we had to mic everything.
Right.
And so I heard it when it was not mic'd.
That was like maybe rehearsal?
Rehearsal.
Okay. So
before you came to
before
tune.
I came. Okay.
Yes.
I guarantee you didn't hear it after that.
I did not. I
Okay.
did not
I
hear
fixed it.
the day of
Okay.
the concert. But the day before, I told
Mhm.
everyone, I said, oh my God, I hear some sound.
So what it was, I heard it too.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I physically really, was
Worked.
intimate with the piano. A piano tuner, just like a pianist, is intimate with the piano because we're going through every note and we're
Yes,
doing what we're
yes.
doing. And so I'm like, what is that? And what it was the felt on the fall board was touching the back of the sharp. So here's the felt and here's the sharp. And every time the sharp, it was only on the sharp keys. When the sharp went up, you heard,
Oh my goodness sakes. So that was it.
that was it. So I'm sitting there like, I'm not going to take this felt off. First I got to make sure it's okay to do that because it is not my piano.
Yeah.
And I said, but I would not be happy with this. So what I did was I actually put a piece of felt as a shim, on each side of the keyboards, what's called cheek blocks, and the fall board, there's felt on the back of the cheek block that the fall board touches. Okay. So what I did was I put an extra piece of felt there. So it just moved the fall board just a millimeter, which made the key miss the felt.
Amazing.
I told them, they said, yes, fix it. I pulled the fall board the day after your concert or 2 days, brought it here, fixed it, brought it back. No whoosh. But I didn't have time that day to do what needed to be done.
You
So
just added
I just
extra.
added a little
Yeah.
bit of felt there, and then I ended up replacing it so that this way, it was back to normal. But I couldn't stand it. And that's the thing too. It's kind of funny, the difference between a pianist and the artist is when there's something going on, sometimes it's hard to language, to explain
Yeah, I
what
didn't
it
know
can
what
be.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard the sound. Yes, I did hear the sound. I spent on the day of the concert, I spent 3.5 hours with audio engineer.
Wow.
Engineer. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Because I'm 2 hours on stage alone. It wasn't anybody else. It was just me
Yeah.
with all these crazy things I'm doing. and I had to have a perfect sound. And obviously these guys are not used to do only classical, and I don't think they do classical. They did most of the pop and stuff. So it was really long, 3.5 hours of adjusting the sound.
Yeah,
Because
it's a lot.
I hear lots of bass, I hear a lot of this, I don't hear this, I don't hear that. It was I was done at 3:30 and concert started at 7. So, you have to relax, go do nothing and stuff, come back at 5:30 because audience start coming. And we spent a long time adjusting the sound because I had orchestral tracks. And I cannot even imagine what would happen if I had a real orchestra. I would spend 24 hours.
Yeah. Or maybe 9 months like you did.
9 months.
And that's the other thing too, everything in life, we watch a movie, we hear a song, you go to a concert, nobody understands all the work that goes into it to make that performance for those 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it is. You watch a movie and it's a 2-hour movie. Well, at the end, look at all the credits of everybody it took, but it took what, a year to make that movie?
Yes.
So there's so much of the behind the scenes things that, people I don't think realize. Once again, like seeing a pianist as a not just an artist, but a athlete that is sitting there and doing a performance.
Well,
for so long.
not only that, you see, because they told me I had this PBS special, so they told me I have to be more intimate with the audience, not just like remote beauty at the piano pianist. So they realized the charisma I have, whatever. So I was trained here also to speak like almost pops concerts. So not only did I play from Chopin to Rachmaninoff, Korsakov, and then go to lots of modern stuff, popular, and then I do my own music, which was Tesla Rhapsody with the movie and the orchestra of 25 minutes in second half. I also talk to audience. So that was really, really, you have to be so precise and so into it that it's not only athletic stuff, it's mentally, obviously, as a pianist, but also what you say, the interaction with audience, and you get that feedback. And this particular time was really fantastic because the audience really was surprised because it was different. And some of them said, oh my God, pianist, it must be so boring. She'll play sonatas and then she play Bach. And that wasn't what I all did. I started with classical, but then it went more and more, and it was all with sound. And also I had a projection of my keyboard fingers on the both screens on the side. and beautiful lighting. So it's really edgy.
Yeah.
On the edge. So in that case, you really are exhausted at the end.
Yep. Because of what you went through earlier in the day,
Yes.
too. No matter how much you relax in between,
No.
it's still what you had to go through. So
True.
that performance was not 2.5 hours,
No.
2 hours. It was 6 hours.
There were 7
Yeah, or 7.
because I had to practice also in
Right.
the morning.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really long, and but it was really very rewarding because I had several standing ovations throughout the concert,
Oh,
which
nice.
very seldomly happen, right? And they don't want to let you go.
Yeah. I'm tired, people. Come on.
I said, okay, are you tired of me? I'll see you at Afterglow, you know. There is still Afterglow.
So is there any other experience or something? We had a couple, a Steinway artist, they were a duo on, and they had mentioned that one time they were playing the piano and the pedals fell off. Was there, when they were playing, was anything ever happened to you, like during a performance?
Well, yes. A couple of funny stories. Yes. That was at the beginning of my American journey where I was really shocked what happened. So,
This is what happens in America?
oh my God. It was totally funny. So I was invited to perform at Villanova University for their annual big concert event or whatever, where they invited the presidents of every Catholic university. So it was Notre Dame, Georgetown, and name it.
Yeah.
And so they would give these awards to the best students, to the best supporters. And how I was there, because one of those families who supported my friends from Bosnia, he was named as alumni of the year.
Okay.
And so he asked if I would perform in honor of this big award he's getting. And he invited the president to his home in Pennsylvania, and they heard me and they said, anything you want, we want you for this annual thing. I said, sure, okay. So we drove from Lancaster to Philadelphia, and we entered the stage and stuff, and one of the organizers there says, you know, piano is there, and I see the shell of piano, and piano is there because I requested Steinway, 7 foot at least to 9 foot, blah, blah, blah. And I thought university, they must have million of those things. Mm-hmm. And the guy says, you know, you can adjust the sound.
I already know where you're going with
And
this.
I said, what? Adjust the sound on this piano? Yeah. Go. Just go try. So piano was pushed in a corner, and I see the shell. I go around. You know what they had? They had a keyboard inserted into the shell.
That's how you can adjust the sound.
And I was like,
And it's already tuned. Don't worry about it.
but listen, that was not now. Now I tried. I have actually one Yamaha, the best new digital, and the how you call it, the touch is
The weight of keys.
the weight is the same,
Mhm.
and you have Yamaha CX there to touch. You have Bösendorfer to touch, and it's pretty good. And that time was like a toy, plastic toy.
Yeah.
And I had very elaborate program. And I turned to this Frank, who is being awarded, and he's old, he's like 80. And I said, Frank, there's no way I can play. He says, really? He said, nobody will recognize. I said, I cannot play on this. I don't know how to. I never played on electric keyboard ever in my life. And it's really, I mean, this keys doesn't go up at all. It's just horrible. And he sits there and he sits there. I said, you know what? They will not notice. Please do it. Please do it. So he was begging me for 20 half hour or whatever. So I said, okay. So I shortened that, and I don't know what I play. I forgot it all. And seriously, I got standing ovations. So I said, oh. So that was really funny. And there was some other times when I came first time and I play in churches or stuff. So the father, Sullivan, didn't want to move piano in center, and they sold all the tickets. And I said, I'm not a singer. I cannot walk around the stage. They said, we cannot move the altar because altar can break. Altar. In case for piano to move up. And well, he said, if you take responsibility of this altar and find people who will move, then you can do it. And it was 2 hours before the concert. And so I called these Bosnian guys. I said, what we need to do? I said, you need to move this. And you need to move piano.
And you have to sign this waiver that I'm not in trouble and that it's all on you.
And they said, oh, just to move like that back, and this was nothing. And they did it, and that's how I played.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always something.
And then ended up in, PBS and Carnegie Hall and stuff. You have so many interesting, events and stories. And now after this Tesla Rhapsody, I'm working on a musical.
Oh, nice.
Broadway-style musical about Nikola Tesla, because he was my countryman. He was also Serbian-American, but he lived the most of his life in New York City. And I always thought that he is not recognized in this country, and that he gave us all the foundations for the technological advancements of 20th and 21st century. And everything that is in remote control is based on Tesla patents. Mm-hmm. And because he had so many powerful enemies, AI, JP Morgan and others that still exist.
Yeah.
He was not a businessman, and they really ruined the guy. He died penniless in New York hotel, and he had radio patents returned to him after his death. Wow. So it's fascinating story, and I thought it needs a bigger stage just than my Tesla Rhapsody for piano and orchestra.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we're working now on it, and we might even workshop somewhere around.
We know a place.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time that we spoke, because you were coming down here to do the concert, and you had asked, is there any place that you could rehearse,
Yes.
For the concert? And I said, well, unfortunately, we don't have the room, but I think we were able to find you. We got
I
you
partnered
connected, right?
with Palm Beach Atlantic University, and they were fantastic. And they actually, president and vice president, they all came to a concert.
Nice.
They brought a really major group of professors to a concert, and I'm so happy. They had a presence after the concert together with St. Jude.
Nice.
Oh, that's
nice.
cool.
Very good. Eventually, we'll have a recital hall and recording studio.
Who,
and
you?
everything here. Oh, yeah.
We're trying to.
No.
We're
trying.
gonna
Eventually.
expand eventually. 3 stories.
Into up?
Well, we own the whole block, so we
Oh.
can add 20, 30,000 square feet on the other side of this wall.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we want to have a recital hall and a recording
It will be
studio.
like
and
Steinway.
and-
Just like Steinway.
Yep.
Do
Yep.
they have a recital hall there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Of
No, I
course.
don't think they have a recording studio though.
They don't have recording.
But we
they
will.
Do. Oh,
Yeah, we will.
that's fascinating. Yeah.
So-
they do have a recital hall in Steinway.
Yeah, I've never been there. So
In different locations, Steinway does have. Steinway galleries have
Yes.
in different states, different locations with the recital halls. As a matter of fact, that's where first time lady from a PBS heard me, and it was just 100 people, and she was one of those 100 people.
Yep.
And she says, I want to film something for you to show to the major PBS stations. And that's how it started.
It's amazing too. It just takes one. Just takes one person.
Exactly.
That just reminds me, I was 14 years old, and I was just getting into DJing, playing music. And so it was me and my friend, and there was a party, where we were going. They asked, "Hey, would you play some music?" We said, "Sure." There were 6 people there. Okay, it was like an efficiency, 1-bedroom apartment, but there were 6 of us. That's all we could fit into that apartment. And there was one person there. that said, "Oh, I know somebody that's getting married. I'll give you their number." I ended up DJing their wedding with my buddy. There was over 300 people there, and I said, "I want to keep doing this." So I did it until I really got into the piano business, and I let that take over.
Oh yeah, I always thought that that's a good advice for training from my training, because we were so disciplined, and they always said it doesn't matter. They always told me there is no bad piano, there is only bad pianist, and there is really a bad piano.
No, I was about to disagree with you
Yeah,
there.
no, I disagree with them, but they told me, those professors told me that there is no bad. Oh my God, I played on Petrov. Oh my goodness sakes! It's like
the pianist can only do with what the instrument they have.
Yes,
you know,
it
it
was very tough for me because I practiced on Petrov when I was little, and it's like driving Trabant, which is a Czechoslovakian car.
Oh, yeah.
Is that like a Yugo?
It's like you flying over. It was horrible. Yeah. So the first time I actually played on Yamaha was, I don't know, I was 17, 16. Before that, I was always on Petrov, and that's why it ruined your hands.
Yeah. Well, it probably made them stronger, right?
Yeah, it made them strong, but it's tough piano to play.
Yeah.
But Yamahas now have very good ones, especially that CFX.
Yes.
That's great. I played in many. I played in DC recently at CFX 9-foot. It's fantastic piano. Really.
Yeah, Yamaha's a very, very good piano.
Very good. I love Bösendorfer very much. And obviously Steinway.
You know what you're in for when you come across that piano. You know, as far as know, they're dialed in, and they're more uniform with each other. You know, it's like when we were working on them or rebuilding one, I already know how it's going to turn out.
Yes.
You know, other manufacturers is a little bit difficult, but those I know.
No, it's very good. Well, speaking of pianos I have, in New York I have a Steinway, but I call it museum example. It's Steinway from 1920s.
It's a good decade for Steinway.
Yeah, it was, but it was 5-6 because apartments in New York. So I had to go to Steinway gallery to practice. But this particular one, I think I need to be rebuilt or something. Here you go. I had a great technician. He was Hungarian, came from Franz Liszt Academy.
Okay.
And he's always joking. He says, "I would not buy this piano because that's like Art Deco."
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Mahogany and. It has a nice touch, but it was not worked on, so it's original. It's very nice. I can practice. It still creates a nice sound, but you cannot keep tuning. So he's coming when I'm in the city. He comes like every 3 weeks. He says, "Okay, are you going to get rid of this piece of crap?" Because it's original strings.
Yeah. Wow, everything's original. So it's 106 years old. That's
So he advised me to get strings, whatever, from Hamburg or blah blah blah.
Yep. Yeah, that's where we get our strings from. I have them made by Heller Bass in Germany, and that's what.
That's what he told me. But because I practiced the most on Bösendorfer, that's new. I practiced. It was new piano when it was purchased, so it's probably 20 years old, but it's new. And I love that piano, so I practice the most there, and then practice a little bit of Steinway, and I practice sometimes on Yamaha.
Yeah, so you got.
I have
best,
Yamaha
best
here.
of everything.
Yeah, I do.
Should have left that Bösendorfer out here.
Oh yeah, I have a Bösendorfer back there. We have to work on.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's a 7.5 foot, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Imperial.
So it's the same thing.
Yep.
This particular one was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. It was new when it was purchased, and it's fantastic piano. I love it, but you cannot. The problem is Bösendorfer could not be delivered to your concerts all the time.
No.
And Steinway's could.
Right.
So that's the difference. But Steinway it's great piano. I mean, this particular one sounded phenomenal after you worked on and after my billion hours of adjusting the sound.
You broke it in one performance.
I broke it. I was joking. I said, this piano just came for me, and I will be gentle. Not.
I'm going to put 5 years worth of use on you in one night.
No.
So she plays like Copeland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play very. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
Copeland Davis?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do play very. And so it was funny. I can tell you some funny stories. So I was opening several festivals. So they have always classical star. And then after classical, they have a band, big band for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And so several times happened that, you know, Peter Duchin Orchestra from New York City, their famous
Yeah, I think I've
society
heard of them, yeah.
orchestra. So his father was famous, and then he inherited. And so they're very, very known for society things. And so the first time I performed as a classical opening was at the Colorado Music and Film Festival, World Colorado Film Festival, and music. And so I just came from Europe. Actually, that was my first Carnegie Hall concert, 2003. And I just came from Carnegie Hall. I performed at the White House and blah, blah, blah. I was a hot commodity at the time. And so I performed my version of America the Beautiful, starting from Turbulence, using Chopin's Revolutionary Etude, to the peace and opportunity of the United States. And so I performed that, and humongous standing ovations of 20 minutes.
Wow.
Huge. After that, this Peter Duchin has to play, but he plays piano.
Mm.
He has a band, big band. He comes to the piano, touch the piano. I can play it. She broke it.
He just didn't want to follow you.
No, she broke it. Next time we met in Palm Beach, another fundraiser, whatever it was, the Breakers. Again, her. I have to play after her.
Can I play it before her,
Yeah.
please?
It cannot happen. She breaks the piano and I cannot play.
That's funny.
That is.
So I know you have plenty of followers, 930,000 plus followers and views. But if you'd like to tell everybody where they can see your Instagram or Facebook.
Well, Instagram is almost a million, but YouTube is I don't know now 25 million views of different videos. So my hashtag name is Marina in America.
Okay.
It came like when I came here. I'm not anymore in Europe. Marina in America, and it stayed like that. And so its Instagram is Marina in America, and Facebook too, and YouTube is the same, I think, but it's with my name. So the last name is not easy to spell, but find it under Marina in America is a website, so you can find everything there.
Americans
And
can
I'm on all streaming services and Spotify, Apple, and all this other.
Are you playing anywhere locally again soon? or
Not
no?
here. No, I'm now working on that musical
Okay.
now, and then I'm doing a couple other concerts, and I will be East and DC and those around, but not here.
Okay.
I may be back.
I hope so.
Playing the Kravis or something.
Next.
You know?
Yeah. Maybe Kravis Center.
Exactly.
Well, I hope I get to work for you again.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You made the job so much easier.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I just I Googled who I can call for first practice, and it happened to be him.
Mm.
And he was so gracious on the phone, even didn't know who is calling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You were so nice. Oh, I wish we have, but you can call this and you can call that, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I end up in Palm Beach Atlantic.
Yeah. Nice. It was a win-win-win because they came to the concert and everything.
Yes,
so
and
that
they
was
they promoted. We promoted them in brochures and
Nice.
stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way. When
Yeah.
everybody wins, the St. Jude wins.
Yeah,
everybody wins.
Yeah, they raised a good amount of money for St. Jude's, and that was all great. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll find some piano here.
Anytime.
Do one for the building for Hamilton Piano.
Yeah, be the most expensive piano in the world. That's not cheap to build.
It's funny.
Well, thank you very much for
This
coming
was
on.
Yeah.
this was great. This
thank
is
you.
really so fun,
A lot of
and
fun.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
Yep. We'll let you know when it's edited
Yep.
and ready to go out, and
Okay, great.
maybe get Anna on it sooner than later.
Yeah.
You know, because she'll go through and edit everything, and
Okay, well, you have a full production here,
Yeah.
studio and fixing pianos,
Yep, yep.
selling. And
we think
everything.
outside the piano box. we do everything. We have our
Well-
IT company or a company or guys, I should say, and we have Anna who does editing of the podcast. Jordan sets everything up.
You have more
yeah.
than I have.
Yeah.
I have to partner with you.
Well, you know, we travel.
That's cool.
Well, thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys.
And,
we'll see you again.
Yep, absolutely.
On some sunny day.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Have a good night.
Good night.